You guys ever done VR? So we got a Quest 2 for Christmas. It was such a great deal. $250 with a $50 gift card. And then I'll have to tell you the story sometime. Well, I'll tell it to you now. So $250. I got the VR. We set it up. Kyla loves it. It was kind of for her and Bree. Bree's not quite as much into it as Kyla is, and they're both not quite as into it as I am. I think I'm the most virtual reality fanatic, or augmented reality fanatic in the family, which is surprising because I wasn't. One of the reasons I got the Quest 2 instead of the Quest 3, the Quest 3 just had come out, and I was like, man, should I get the 2 or the 3? You know what? Let's be conservative. I also like to get more mature technology. So I was like, okay, let's just get the Quest 2. It's been out for 3 years. The new one's coming out. It's a new and shiny, and it's got way better specs, but it is twice as expensive for essentially the same thing. You don't get a whole lot of functionality for it. I got the Quest 2. Got the Imagine Dragons pack for Beat Saber. Oh my gosh. So amazing. I played through the whole thing like on day 2 on the 27th of December, and I was sweating. I was playing on like normal or hard or something. It wasn't hard. I'd just gotten it and I had no idea what I was doing, and it was so much fun. Oh, I don't know if it's been a decade since I'd had that much fun in an hour playing a video game. It was just so amazing. And it was in that moment that I thought, you know what? This is worth money. I would spend $500 on something if it made the experience that much sweeter. So, the next day, I was like, hey, what about the Quest 3? And surprisingly, Christina was on board. She's like, hey, whatever you want. Just, be cool. I was like, oh. And then there was this cool deal coming around. It's like, well, Christina, if you bought the Quest 3, like you as in your account, we could get a $60 game. We could get $30 referral credit each. So that's $60 plus 30 plus 30. So it's like $120 extra. So pretty good value. Look at that. For what we're achieving. This is just a rock garden. So I thought about it for 24 hours. I'm the kind of guy that thinks about this stuff for months. And granted, I've been thinking about VR in general for quite some time, but I decided on the Quest 2 due to all those factors. But I hadn't realized just how much I was going to love it. Oh gosh, it locked up my rear tire. Didn't want to do that. Okay, so I go out with Kyla. She's like, I want to come. I'm like, sweet, let's go get the Quest 3. So we went hunting. We went to a Walmart store. It was out. No Quest 3. I could have bought it online, but I'm like, no, I want to get it from Walmart. Because for some reason, I was thinking, man, I might need to return this. If it feels like a tech demo, and there's no games out for alternate reality. There's like a tech demo. In fact, most of the games for Quest 2, they honestly feel like they're just tech demos. They're like maybe 5-6 hours long. Not very long. There's not a lot to the games, but it's just such a different experience that, I don't know, it's still fun. So, we got it, we unpacked it, we opened it up. Oh man, it was so good. There's these things called the pancake lenses instead of the other lenses. They look so much clearer. It looked gorgeous, beautiful. But 15 minutes into it, so I got it all set up. Kyla played it for a little bit. She's like, yeah, it's cool. I like it. Then I got on it and I played. It was like, I put her to bed, and then I did the same thing. I just got on it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play Beat Saber again. Just replay that whole experience. It was so good. I'm going to do it again. This time with the Quest 3. It's going to be even more glorious. It's smoother. 190 frames per second versus 72 frames per second. I think it also goes up to 120. I don't know what Beat Saber runs at. It definitely felt smoother though. probably 90 frames a second, I'd imagine, initially. So it felt smooth, but every once in a while it would hitch during the game. And that was like red flag number 1. Okay. And then number 2, immediately playing the first song. I'm not good at Beat Saber, but I kept missing so many notes. I kept missing them. And I didn't know what was up. I was like, I played this song a bunch of times, and I normally hit just about everything except for, the hard parts. And it was kind of weird. So I played another song, same issue. Played the next song, same issue. I was like, I don't know what's going on. The tracking felt off. So I didn't know what was going on, but the tracking was weird. And I couldn't put my finger on it, but it just didn't feel like it was tracking my controllers. It tracked them amazingly when I was going super slow. When I started swinging them faster, the tracking was not there. So I put the Quest 2 back on, instantly fixed. Amazing. The tracking was so much better. And those controllers apparently have just a single LED or a single tracker on one of them. They can't position it. They're using AI. They're using AI to help with the tracking, and maybe it'll get better over time because of it's growing. But there's a big thread on Meta talking about how their more competitive games don't really work well for the Quest 3 because it just doesn't track your movements as accurately. And I immediately noticed it. And the other thing, after you play for 45 minutes to an hour, one, the battery was absolutely gone. So the battery life is not nearly as much as the other one. And I don't need a ton of battery. Quest 2 battery life, I don't need an extra battery pack. By the time I'm done with that battery, I'm done. I'm so done. But half hour, 45 minutes on the other one, already the battery was puffing down to like 25%. So that was not amazing. But I knew that going into it, and that was an okay compromise. I was like, well, I can get an external battery. It'll be okay if that's exactly what I want. But it also got hot. It would heat up, and the fan would spin, but it would also blow heat onto your eyes. It was annoying. So there's all these things that just made the Quest 2. The only thing that it doesn't have is those like really high quality pancake lenses, but it even felt just a little bit smoother to me. I don't know what it was, and I vacillated on it for just a couple days. I had a 30-day return window, but on day 3 I was like, this isn't going to work out, sorry, gonna have to return it. So I returned it. Boom. Gave it back. You know what? This is annoying. Do I want to be down in the riverbed? It's just rocky over here. And it's not my favorite terrain. I mean, rocky's fine. It's just not enjoyable to me to ride in. I would rather ride in something nice and smooth that has like big hills and whoops and maybe some stuff going through it. I just don't want rocks all the time. Ugh, this is great. I love this. Let's just not do rocks all the time. Oh, let's slow down. Okay. So that was the story. How I got the Quest 2, was so excited that I bought the Quest 3, then returned the Quest 3 because it sucked. I would have kept it. All those issues were essentially non-issues, except for the tracking. I can't deal with crappy tracking, and I'm not going to buy Pro controllers for another $300. That would put me $800 in the hole, plus tax, $850, plus an extra battery, plus a head strap. I'd be $950 in the hole versus just $200 or maybe $250 for the other one. Not worth it. 100% not worth it. So I ended up going back to Quest 2, and it's awesome. Sure, it's a little blurry when you're reading text, but as soon as you start playing a game, you just forget. At least I do. I forget all about it. Do I wish I had pancake lenses? Oh, 100%. But is it going to stop me from enjoying the Quest 2? Well, that's the other thing. It didn't feel like any game took advantage of AR. Like, not one game had a good AR experience. There were a couple, again, tech demos, but when I picked it up for Christmas on December 2023, I don't feel like there was really a game that took advantage of it. Oh, gosh. Oh. More than one person has done what I'm doing right now. Oh, God. I need to stop mashing my front brake when it's so soft over here. I really do. Yikes. I keep almost dropping the bike just because I hit the front brake in super sand and I'm trying to stop. It doesn't work. Yeah, back to the story. I totally would get it, but there are a couple of critical issues. The biggest one being the tracking. I just can't deal with the tracking. It's not going to work. Nope, sorry. Give me better tracking than you had on the Quest 2. I don't care if there are rings. Give me better tracking. So, I just got a standard deal for a Quest 2 plus a $50 gift card for games that are a little bit overpriced on meta.com. That's fine. Bought my first $40 game, Beat Saber. Totally worth it. Bought an expansion pack for $12. Totally worth it. 100% totally worth it to me. But it was essentially free because that all came with it. So, nice. But here's the bonus stuff. I didn't get the $30 meta when I first got the account. So I opened a support ticket and they're like, sure, we'll take care of you. But it's going to take 5 to 7 business days. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Then all your sales are going to be over. I'm not going to get any deals on your games. And they're like, oh, sorry. There's nothing we can do, but here's $10 credit just to say sorry. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's kind of cool. Thanks, man. Like, yeah, no problem. Later, I get my $30 credit on both accounts, and that's where I'm sitting right now. And I kept the $60 game. Like, they didn't take it away when I returned the Quest 3. I guess it's tied to my account that I enable it on. So it's just 100% enabled, and that's that. So I essentially got $130 worth of store credit for trying out the Quest 3. That's pretty insane. Plus that $50, so $180 store credit for a $250 system. So you could say, theoretically, I only spent $70 on the hardware and have yet to purchase all this stuff. You know? So, that's my story on the Quest stuff. So, if you ever want my opinion on whether or not you should get a Quest 2 or a Quest 3, the answer is Quest 2, 100%. Unless they come out with a super killer game or whatever on the Quest 3, or if they fix the tracking issues, which I don't think they can, just because of the hardware limitations. I don't think it's going to be a thing. So if you ask me, wait for the Quest 3 Lite, maybe they'll fix it. Maybe the Quest 4. Anyway, that's it for me. It's just a road home from here. So you have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button